Hello, I'm Hannah, and this is Hannah's Books. Today I'm here for what will be a very short little Bookaka wrap-up video. My son flew into town around 10 a.m. on New Year's Eve, and I met him on Washington, D.C.'s National Mall, a long, rectangular, grassy park, kind of, surrounded by federal buildings. On the short ends, one side is the location of the U.S. Capitol, while the other goes past the Washington Monument to the ellipse near the White House, the Lincoln Memorial, etc. On the long ends, there are a large number of free museums, including the Smithsonian Museum of Natural History, U.S. History, Air and Space, etc., as well as several different art museums. There's also the U.S. Botanic Garden, a conservatory I love to visit every winter, partly because it is so warm in some of the rooms that house tropical plants, but also because it houses two of my favorite seasonal displays, a miniature train display and also a miniature version of the buildings of the National Mall, all made from completely natural materials. Well, Abe and I met at an art museum and had an amazing time looking around, but afterwards we headed to the Botanic Garden to see these holiday sights. Let me show you. As for the natural version of the National Mall, let me show you a few examples of that. First, here is the African American Museum, a relatively new addition to DC. And here it is, represented in miniature, made from natural plant materials, walnut shells and birch twigs, locust barks, and royal poinciana fruit to create the solar panels on the roof, etc. And here is a replica of the East Wing of the National Gallery of Art. On the upper floor of the real National Gallery East Wing, there is an outdoor patio, and it has a permanent outdoor installation, a giant blue rooster. This year, for the first time I think, the natural miniature got its own blue rooster, completely constructed from natural materials, of course. And while it doesn't really look blue when you see it in person, it is made from dried blue eucalyptus leaves, among other things. I'll quickly show you a few more. The Capitol, the Supreme Court, the Washington Monument, the Jefferson Memorial, the Lincoln Memorial, and the Botanic Garden itself. My son and I then walked to Eastern Market, bought sandwiches, and ate outside on picnic benches on what was a relatively warm day. Afterwards, we started out on our way home, where we took afternoon naps, both to make up for our early morning wake-ups and to prepare for what we knew would be a late night at our friend's house, where we were celebrating New Year's Eve. It was a lovely night. Much of it we spent sitting outside around a fire pit, where both parents and the next generation roasted marshmallows and made s'mores. Later on, we lit candles for the seventh night of Hanukkah. For those of you who don't know, Hanukkah is a time when people often celebrate by eating foods cooked in oil, both fried jelly donuts called sufganiyot and fried shredded potatoes called latkes. Our friends at the party are from various traditions and practices, some Jewish and some not, and we got pretty playful this time as we decided what to eat as we were celebrating the evening. One non-Jewish family honored the celebration of the oil by creating a dish that uses the word fried twice in the dish's title, deep-fried fried rice balls. And when we got to the latkes, we tried out every dip on the appetizer table. Sour cream and applesauce are traditional on latkes, but we also tried out hummus, a funny mixing of different lineages of Judaism. And we all really loved the latkes we dipped in salsa and guacamole. Well, at midnight, we had glasses of champagne, and we looked around our circle of friends and nodded. We've been friends for nearly 25 years, more for some of us, and we've been through amazing times together. The births of children, bat mitzvahs, music recitals and art shows, baseball games, the deaths of many parents and grandparents, as well as 3 of our own group, all who died too young. And as we looked around at each other last night, I suspect many of us were thinking about how glad we were to be with these dear friends as we start this new year together. Here's to the future for all of us here on BookTube, video makers, and also the viewers and commenters who were such a part of this wonderful community. It is good to be with all of y'all too. See you soon here on Hannah's Books.